Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And this time around we're doing another product review. And we've got the centre of gravity scale from a company called FraesFreude, and it's designed by Axel Monsieur. And I think I've just probably messed up the company name and the designer's name, but I tried my best. So FraesFreude translates to milling joy in English, which makes sense because this is milled out of a plywood based material. So let's get it unpackaged, get it assembled and see exactly how it works. Here's some of the product details from their website, which I'll make sure is linked down below into the description of this video for you. So centre of gravity scale, €99. I paid slightly less than that. It was on promotion at the show. And it is designed to do just that, check your CFG on your model. And the second box I've actually got on the bench as well, or second packet rather, is you can buy an XL extension set for it, for the bigger models. And as I have quite a few large models, I thought it would be worthwhile getting that. So for additional €30, you can buy this. So the main product itself, centre of gravity 40 to 245 millimeters. Distance between model support is adjustable 85 to 280. Usable height of the model support 260 to 345. Don't worry if you're not catching all this, again it'll be linked down below. And it has made out of very high quality 12mm birch plywood from Furniture Construction. Smooth coated on both sides with blue transparent surface. And within the kit you get all the necessary parts, instructions and wood glue, and it also has bearings to help it run smooth. So let's get it built. Okay, so I have two bags. The main CG machine here and also the extension kit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start off just by building the main machine so you can see that as it is, and we're going to go and balance a model, probably the OMP edge, so that needs doing. Then at the end of the video, I'll just add on the extension so you can see what it looks like with a larger model on the stand. I think that sounds like a good plan. So let's have a look inside the box. It's not a box, Matt, it's a bag. Let's have a look inside the bag. To start off, step-by-step instructions, I believe. So there's the parts that are included. We'll have a close look at those in just a moment. So it is showing you how to assemble, I believe. It's not many steps, which is good, and then that's what the finished product should look like. So let me just show you one of these, try and find something a bit interesting on the pieces. So you can see the quality of the wood, which is what grabbed my eye when I saw these at Jet Power. I knew nothing about this company until I went to that show. So another good reason to get out to the shows. You get to see stuff you wouldn't have seen before. So high quality, definitely. That's nice and thick. So we've got 12mm. And it's got the blue lamination on it and nicely cut, machined out and indented here as well. So I'm hoping this will go together super quick. So also included, you have all the fixtures and fittings along with some wood glue, bearings, bolts, washers, adjustments. You have some sticky pads, which I believe are so you don't damage the model when you put it onto the wood. Some soft pads for the model to go down on. And inside here, you probably just about see through the plastic, there is basically a rule, and that's how you measure the distance from the leading edge to the machine, which you get from the manufacturer for the model. Then you put it on there, then it should balance if you've got the weight correct. But I'll show you how it works once I figure it out and after I built it. So I think what we'll do is we'll just speed up this section. I'll start putting it together and I'll show you bits as I go. Okay, I've decided that we are going to build this together. So if you want to skip through the build section and just see what the machine looks like when it's all made, then feel free to do so. I'll put the links in the description below so you can jump to different chapter markers. But I thought it might be useful just to see how well this actually slots together if you're thinking about buying one of these yourself. So starting off, just following the first step. Very simple. Well, it looks very simple. Let's see if it is. just going to do a loose fit first. Do you know what? I don't think I need to do that because that's stuck in. That's in there now anyway. So that's not glued, but it's in there. But it just slots straight in so nice. I just thought I'd try it before I glued it. Let's try it. Next piece. Which looks like that one. Yeah, super nice fit. Obviously it does need gluing, should be glued. We'll just see how it goes. So I actually had the wrong piece in my hand, but there you go, just to give you a bit of a close-up. That is basically step one. And you know what, you can't get the wrong piece in there, so I picked up the wrong one to start off with, and it won't physically fit in there. So that is what step one's going to look like. You see, so all we need to do is pull it back apart and get some glue in there and get it drying, and move on to step two, which is the opposite one. Okay, so there's the first one done. I've just used wood glue on there. Now on the second one I used a tiny bit of thick CA as well, but to be honest with you I didn't need it because the wood glue's gone off super quick. Just making sure I put the bolt through there. But that's it, so that is step 1, 2 and 3, because that's the third one there. Done, so the two main stands, but 3 steps. Then next up, it's a case of getting these sections and just sinking the relevant nuts in them. I have 2 of these to go in. Yep, so I've just lined them up. I'm going to push them as hard as I can with my thumbs, and then I'm just going to gently tap them through with a hammer. And there we go. So if you are building along, these should go flush once they're in. So I've just used a piece of wood on top and a hammer to get them flush. Do the same on the other side. There we go, that's the second one done. So that's steps 4 and 5 complete. Then on to step 6. We have a couple of interesting pieces. These, I think, is what we're going to be measuring against. It's going to be our marker, which we're going to measure with. So that gets inserted into here. So it's just a case of, once you've got this piece glued in the middle, insert 2 dowels through. Make sure you've got the correct one for the corresponding side that you're attaching it to, which I have. And then in this case, line the dowels up, applying a little bit of glue and pushing it all together. So do that for both sides. Okay, so once we've glued those 2 legs, you then need to thread the bolts through. And that's the supply bolts. They sit nicely inside the leg and have a washer on the other side. So just a case of slotting them through, they're keyed, like so. And then we can move on to the next step, which is getting the parts ready where the model's actually going to sit on. And if you see, these also have little indicators on there which will line up with the measurement for the C, with the measurement section later on. So inside those, they've got some nice bearings which will get slotted in. And then also some blocks will sit on top with some pads on the block. So I'll go ahead and put those together and then show you. And there we go, that's the finished T-piece there. So the bearings just secure in these 2 small screws, but one was easy to put in, the other one was slightly tighter, needed a bit of persuasion, but no problems. And then the blocks fit on top, and then this is where the wing is going to rest once it's all together. So there's 2 of them to make up, and then we can assemble them to the legs. And there we go, there's a close-up of one of the legs. So you can see when the model's sitting on top, we'll be able to gauge whether it's tail heavy or nose heavy, because these indicators won't line up. So now what we need to do is assemble the legs together and then put the main device on the side here which measures it, and we should be ready to test our first model. Before we assemble everything together, we need to get these side supports and attach the measurement strip to them, and this only goes around one way. It's actually slotted and keyed in. It's got a curve on this end, so you can't get it the wrong way around, can't get this one on the other side. So it slots in nicely, starts from 40, so that's the distance back from here, 40 mil, and allows you to go all the way to 240. So this is going to be the distance from the leading edge back to where we set this on the scale, and then we'll know if our CFG is right. So I'll get these glued on, and then I'll show you the machine all together. Okay, and there we go. That is the finished CFG balancer, fully assembled. Let me give you a close-up look around it. Okay, so let's start off with the adjustments. So we have some adjusters down the bottom here, which bring the sides out or the sides in if you have a wider fuselage. It's fair enough. We have adjustments on the legs here, so we can take the stand higher up in case you have a taller model and the undercarriage is getting in the way of the work surface, so they can adjust up again. Then we have the adjustments on the side here for your measurements. You can undo this and measure from the leading edge. I guess it would also work from the trailing edge. If your CG is from trailing edge, you can just turn the model around and work out the measurement. You can set that, say, to 130, dial it in, and then when the model sits on top, you know that these arrows have got to line up, and then that's your CFG spot on. So overall, I like it. I think the quality is really good. Obviously, I've not used it yet. We're about to do that next, but the quality is really good. It went together super easy. There's more than enough glue supplied. All the bolts and washers were all in there. It was easy to follow, even for the step-by-step guide was super easy to follow. Obviously no written words, but the instructions are pretty obvious. So next up, let's go and find a model. Okay guys, hopefully you can see me at the back here. Slight change of plan. I'm giving you a sneak preview of the Skywing Angel, which I've only just finished building, hasn't been test flown yet. And I'll explain why I didn't use the edge, and I'll show you that in a minute, because it's slightly different. But here it is on the machine, on the CFG balancer, and it is balanced. Now it is super sensitive, so if I just move the tail down slightly, you can see it soon falls down. If I move the tail up slightly, we get nose heavy. So it really is just a case of working out exactly where you need to be to check that balance. But it doesn't take much on a small model like this, if I show you inside, to throw the CFG off with the battery. And I think this is one of the issues people may have with small models. So let me just show you inside what I mean. So here's my battery placement at the moment. I've just got the battery on the edge to make it easier to slide around. There's Velcro on the other side, make it more difficult. But if I slide this just a few millimeters in either direction, it does throw the CFG off. So two things here to note is it is sensitive because it's a small model. But if I show you that now, and there we go, we're back on there or thereabouts. If I move the battery back just by a few mil, and sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed, which you could easily do when you put the battery back in the model for the second flight. You can see already that's gone out. That's gone out by itself. And if I try and pull the nose down, get its line back up, and then let go, out massively. And that's how much probably 5 mil has just made on this model. Again, I'll just show you. About 5 mil back in the other direction. I appreciate I haven't got any markings inside the fuselage at the moment, but I will have after this video. See, now it's still tail heavy. Let's tuck it in a bit further. And it's getting very close to there. Very fractionally tail heavy. Let's come forward a little bit, and now we're fractionally nose heavy. Very close. That's pretty good. So it does make a big difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up exactly where that battery is. Probably put a line on the foam here, so I know where to put it in when I change flights. But of course, the second point I was going to point out, I've not got the canopy on. So as soon as I put the canopy on, it's going to throw it out because there's more of the canopy behind the CFG than there is in front of the CFG. So this CFG in this model, I measured from this line here to the front is 100 mils. So watch what happens when I put the canopy on. I won't change the battery. So again, I've not changed the battery, nothing's changed. I'm just going to hold the front while I slot it on. Sorry about the background noise, that's my parrots. All right, you be quiet, I'm trying to work. Yeah, if I slot it on, you see already, it's gone tail heavy. So that's how sensitive it is. So I didn't move the battery, but just putting the canopy on, it's gone tail heavy. And this is a model which is foam skin construction with carbon balsa and ply. And then you can see. So always make sure you've got every component, probably stating the obvious to some of you, but make sure you've got every component installed. So that was tail heavy. So I'm going to go forward. Just very slightly, probably, I didn't measure it, but about 5 mil. And we're still tail heavy. So it is pretty close edge. So I just thought I'd point that out for a moment. Then point out a few other bits for you. Now what I should probably really do is do this again and adjust this so it's as close as possible to the centre of the wing. So obviously the wing tapers here, and the CFG is measured from the root. So these should really be in towards the fuselage. So I'm going to do that again in just a few minutes, and you can adjust them by these controls down here and slide those legs in. One thing I had problem with on the edge, and I'll show you that in just a second, is the undercarriage hits this part here. So I can't position the model where it should be on the stand because it's hitting this section here. Now I don't know if that will change with the extra large kit that I've got for this. I don't think it will. So what I did is I just turned the model upside down and done the CFG upside down, which takes a bit longer because you've got to then flip the model back over, take the canopy back off, and then remeasure, readjust and pull it back. But just worth noting that. So let's just adjust this so it's inwards, in as close to the root as possible. So this is how it now looks from the front. I've adjusted these in just so there's enough space, but we're as close as we can get to the leading edge there. And look what it's done. So I've not changed the battery at all, and we're now tail heavy. So as expected, that's made quite a big difference. So that's where we've ended up. So just as a quick test to humour myself, with the model inverted and the battery in exactly the same position, it is balancing in exactly the same position, which is what you'd expect. So that must be right. That must be right, as long as I've got my measurement right here, which is 100 mil, and this is on the leading edge, that should be about right. So it'll be really interesting now to go and fly this model in that exact configuration and see how it performs. Okay guys, so my final thoughts on this product. I like it. I think for just getting that CFG right, like initially right, knowing whether the model's too tail heavy or too nose heavy, this is a quick way of doing it. I would still fully suggest you do more in the air and make sure it is correct, but this is going to let you know whether you're a mile out one way or the other for sure. I was surprised at how sensitive the Skywing Angel was, and other models are going to be sensitive as well. I suspect the bigger models won't be as sensitive to having the CFG out. On the OMP Hobby Edge, which is a 60-inch model, it actually gives a range for the CFG rather than an exact CFG. So a lot of models are flexible on it, but you want it right. You don't want that scary test flight to go hobbly wrong because you've got the model way too tail heavy, which would be a bit of a nightmare. So I like it. I definitely like it. I'm definitely going to give this an 8 out of 10 so far. That's probably a little bit harsh. Maybe we should get a 9 out of 10. I love the construction. I love the wood. Just a little bit finicky using it for the first time in the other room. That's probably me getting used to it. It's very adjustable. I think next time round we'll put on the extension pack, and we'll do that as a separate video because it's going to take me a while to get this together, and obviously I've got to get the larger models out and have to do that outside, and it's currently raining very hard. So we'll do that as a separate video. So please make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get to find out when that video is going to be published. But yeah, I like it. I have actually got another product from the same company to review as well, which will be coming out within the next couple of weeks, so make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you think I'm being too fussy with the CFG. Let me know if you've got any other devices that you use instead, or what you do, or whether you'll be prepared to go and take a look at one of these. The link for it will be down below in the description of the video. See you next time round.